Alright, so this is what we're shooting today. Winchester Universal gaming target, 12 gauge, 2 3/4, 1200 feet per second, 1 1/8 ounce, 8 shot, and it's heavy lead load, so it's not steel. This is basically the lowest quality stuff you can get. I mean, in general, it's the Walmart discount load. And I mean, you can see these are steel caps. They're like tinned steel caps. It's low brass. And I did some research on this. It's just mixed results. A lot of people have mixed results with this, depending on the gun, how it shoots, and and some people have good results using this for target shooting, and some people don't. So and the lead is relatively soft as well. But I figured we'd run that today. I didn't make any modifications on the lifter. We had 2 lifter errors last time around. Didn't make any modifications on the lifter. I did clean and lube the gun. Spent quite a lot of time doing that, cleaning, lubing the gun in detail. One of the things I've observed is that our magazine spring, the coils are closer together now in the mag spring, much closer together than they were when we originally bought it. And so, and you probably, if you've seen the previous video on the mag spring, installing the Wolf extra power mag spring, we cut coils off to make sure it fits in here. And we ran it and tested it. But now that it's more compressed, it's basically broken in. I'm kind of wondering if the reason we had those 2 lifter errors on the last shooting was because we're relatively light on the mags. The last round of 2 sets during the last shooting impacted the lifter on its way out. And so when you have that last round impact, that may be a sign that the mag spring is just not providing quite enough push to get the round out with enough speed. And so as the lifter goes up, it's impacting the shell. So the idea is the shell flies out over the lifter, and then the lifter lifts the shell up. So the shell comes out, lifter lifts the shell up. So if you're getting lifter impacts, that might mean that your mag spring doesn't have enough oomph. So what I did is I found that I can cut a shell and put it down here in the end of the mag tube to take up a little bit of space. And there is a little bit of space. This is a 6-round mag tube. There's a little bit of space left over in here. So I can actually put this in, and this with the end cap installed on top of it is going to be about 2 inches, maybe 2 1/4 inches. So if we have lifter errors today, what I'll do is, for a test, I'll install this to shorten up the spring a little bit, and maybe that will give us a little bit more oomph. Otherwise, I'm just going to buy another mag spring. They're only $10. I'll buy another mag spring. And next time I trim the mag spring down to fit in the gun, I'm going to make some assumptions. I'm going to calculate how much compression we see between the broken in mag spring versus the non-broken in mag spring. I'm going to calculate that to determine how many less coils I need to cut to get the mag spring so that it'll work after it's broken in. Something like that. I'll make adjustments. I'll make an accounting of the fact that the mag spring is going to get broken in. Don't mind buying a mag spring if I need to. It's just $10. So this is the stuff. I don't have a lot of high expectations with this. We'll just have to see. And let's get started. All right, we got Winchester Universal gaming target, 1200 FPS. It's relatively light load. This shotgun wouldn't shoot 1200 FPS when I first got it, and I'm finding that it'll shoot like 1145 down to 1145 if it's cleaned and lubed and broken in. So 1/8 ounce, 1 1/8 ounce. Here we go. Oh, the other thing is we got a long field for a background. We've got some cardboard boxes, pizza box on the ground here. We're going to be shooting at a steep down angle with some stumps in front of us. So it's relatively safe shooting environment. Here we go. Right on. It's all clear. Let's load some more. Okay, round 2. Winchester, game and target. Here we go. Right on. All clear. So we're shooting 7s today. Let's load some more. All right, round 3. Right on. All clear. Okay, round 4. We're going for speed here. Right on. Round 5. Right on. All clear. All right, round 6. Here we go. All clear. So far, so good. I don't want to jinx it. Round 7. Shooting for speed. Right on. All clear. Round 8. Winchester game and target. 1200 FPS. 1 1/8. All clear. Round 9. And you know, we're shooting 100 today. So I think we're at 566 last time. So we're gonna be getting up over 600 rounds today. Round 9. Here we go. Shooting for speed. Damn. Taking up the ground there. Right on. Round 10. This is 70. This will be 70 rounds at this point. And apparently our extractor pin fix is still working. Round 10. Here we go. Dude. Running like a top. Round 11. 77 rounds. Here we go. Sweet. All clear. Round 12. 84 rounds. Here we go. Shooting for speed. Two. All clear. All right. Round 13. This will be 91 rounds. Sweet. 91, baby. All clear. Round 14. Round 14. This will be 98 rounds here. Here we go. Dude. Shooting like a top. Oh, yeah, that's right. We got 2 more here. This will be 99. Gun is getting dirty now. Surprised she's raw this long, actually. 99 and 100. So we got 1 in the chamber and 1 in the magazine. Last round on the magazine spring. So let's just see if we can do this here. This will be 100 rounds. Here we go. Freaking sweet. Dude. 100 rounds. Panzer EG200. Running some of the cheapest Winchester you can find. Smells good. All right. I'm going to check out the footage. We'll take apart the gun, inspect it. We'll go for a hike, and I'll give you my last thoughts. All right, that was pretty exciting and unexpected, man. Just going to be taking the gun apart here. Now, this is the plastic cap that's up in this extended, this extra round extended tube, right? So, and it moves, it's loose in there. So here's a quick tip. If you ever lose your plastic cap, and maybe they designed it this way, but if you ever lose your plastic cap, you can cut a cap from a shotgun shell. It's the exact same diameter. The rim is the exact same diameter. So you can just put that cap, that shell down in there. Screw that on. And look. It's sexy. So just make sure to use a used hull, shell hull. It's already got its primer. It's primer busted. That works great. So you don't have to worry about that. If you ever lose your plastic cap, you can use a shell hole. Okay, so let's check this sucker out, man. That was actually really good news, man. I expected there to be all sorts of problems, dude. All sorts of problems. All right. You can see she's nice and oiled, man. Nice and oiled. Got a little dirty up in there. But she ran like a top. She's hot. Whoa, man, let me tell you, this is happiness right here, man, because this is the warm gun. This is a warm gun. And, probably right around now is when you want to be cleaning this thing anyway. Because, that piston, one thing I noticed right away is this piston, just a little bit fouled. I did clean the gas chamber and the piston earlier. Clean and oiled it. I would just do that every time you shoot, man. Just clean and oil every single thing on the gun. It's a dirty lady, and if you're gonna be shooting it semi-auto, she's gonna need to be cleaned. All right, let's check out the bolt here. She's wet. See how wet she is? But I like her wet. Dude, do you see that? I'll tell you what. Oh, you know what? That's probably from the shells. Actually, these are steel shells. They got like a tin coating on them. And I'm pretty sure that's just coming off the hulls of the shells. Nice and wet. And our extractor pin is doing just fine. It's not moving whatsoever. The locking block looks okay. It's a little bit worn, but she's okay. She's still okay. Firing pin looks good. Extractor is happy. So the bolt still in functional condition. Let's check out the barrel. Whoa. Dude, this got dirty quick for sure. Yep. Got some gunk in here, got some gunk in there. Some more metal particles. Let's see here. Yeah, man, that's all coming off the shell hole, man. For sure. Never seen that before. It's cheap. See that? It's definitely from the shotgun shell. So let's see here. Nice and black. Man, this is what I like about the motor oil. Is it's just got a lot of detergents in it, and it just keeps the stuff nice and free for quick cleaning. So the gun's checking out. I haven't looked at the trigger group, but I'm assuming that it's okay. The lifter worked just fine. Right on. I'll get back to you. All right, there's our cleanup pile. This is our buckshot stump blasting from a couple of chapters ago. Dude, check this out. Oh yeah. It smells like fresh dirt, baby. Sorry to the worms, man. All right. All right. This is our little walk and talk. It's a little bit chilly out. So, can you see a smile on my face? Right on. It's been a long time coming. 666 rounds. I know that's the devil's number, but we actually have a number of rounds off camera that have gone through the gun too. Probably, I don't know, another 25 rounds or so that I've just shot off camera, you know, just for the fun of it. But yeah, we're up really close to 700 rounds. 666 rounds, 670 rounds, whatever, 680, somewhere in there, 690, something like that. So, shotgun shot, the economy brand, the economy round, shot 100 over 100. You know, I'm really happy about that because, you know, if you just want to go out and do some blasting, that was a box of 100 and I spent like $36 on it. So, oh, there's some deer right there. You're not going to see them. Those are my deer right there, dude. Whole bunch of them. Look like 10 or 15. Oh, they're happy too. Running like crazy. That's because I'm making too much noise. So, Winchester Universal 12 gauge, 2 3/4, 1200 FPS, $36 a box. Yeah, the deer's still coming through. There's a buck. They're looking healthy too. Shotgun worked great. Cleaned it, lubed it before I shot it. So that's always critical, man. With any semi-auto shotgun, I'm beginning to understand that it's really critical to just, you're gonna do a lot of cleaning. You know, with my AR, man, I don't have to clean it if I don't want to. My 9mm I clean every time because it's a race gun. It gets finicky, you know. After 100 rounds or so, it can get finicky. But so didn't have to do any modifications this time around. Didn't have to do any repairs. The bolt still in working condition, good working condition. The shotgun is definitely starting to show signs of being well broken in. The it's looking like there's going to be some weather moving in here. You can just feel it, man. Here we go. Right on. Shotgun's definitely starting to look like it's broken in. You know, we had to run upwards to 700 rounds through it. We had to do some repairs. There were some prize issues. You know, loose detent spring, screw, lost extractor pin, off-spec spring, lifter, needed to shorten the lifter. There's a bunch of different stuff that we've done. But the shotgun didn't break. So the parts themselves, all the basic parts are still functioning. You know, pins and screws and springs and stuff like that. That's not included in the determination if the shotgun's any good. You know, issues with like assembly and you know, little things coming off the gun and stuff like that. That's not. I don't consider that to be a minus for the gun. So I'm gonna keep the shotgun. I like it. I do think it's at a point where I'm willing to have it around, use it for self-defense if necessary. On the last chapter of the shooting, it shot 48 out of 50 estate. On the chapter before, it shot 46 out of 50 estate, or something like that. And you know, the failures on the second to the last chapter of the estate, or the first estate chapter of shooting, were related to the extractor pin being gone. You know, that we had 2 failures to fire and 5 failures to eject, so seven failures. So that estate checks out. From what I can tell, the estate checks out. And so as far as using the shotgun for self-defense with double-aught buckshot, I'm pretty good with it. Do I think it's as reliable as a pump shotgun? No. But if you just want to have a semi-auto, and you know, it just might happen to come in handy for a little self-defense, I think that I think it'll handle buckshot pretty well. The other thing is that, you know, if you get a lifter error, you can fix that. You can clear that pretty quickly. I mean, you know, if you have errors with your firearm, you need to be able to clear the error and get the gun running again. So lifter errors, you can clear that pretty quickly. Failures to eject, you can usually get your finger in there and pull the shell out pretty quick. So, you know, as far as using the shotgun for self-defense, if it's going to shoot like 98% of the time, and out of like almost 700 rounds, we only had 2 failures to fire, and that was due to a lost pin, a lost extractor pin. That means that first round in the gun is going to go off. That's one thing I can say about this gun. It's definitely a first round gun. We haven't had any problems with the firing pin or the firing mechanism, the hammer, the trigger, none of that. The gun goes off. As far as the firing function of the gun, that first round firing, it works. So, and I haven't had very many issues with the first 3 rounds, first 4 rounds. The first 3 or 4 rounds during all of our testing have gone off from what I can tell. Maybe once or twice we might have had like a second or third round malfunction, but that was early on during the break-in period. So the Federal Super Shock blue buckshot, that's always run good in the gun. The Luce, which is a Turkish round, that's a Turkish double-aught buck round. That's run pretty good. That's run pretty darn good. The State checks out, and that's the economy buckshot. So for like 10 or 15 rounds of Federal, you can buy an entire box of Estate. So the Estate buckshot works good, and my number one absolute favorite is the Rio. I don't know what it is. Rio's got that clear plastic shell hull, and it's got a full brass cap on it. And you know, I shot a bunch of Rio in the beginning off camera. I shot a bunch of Rio on camera too. I really have a good feeling about that Rio. So this is definitely, at least this particular data point, this particular shotgun, this will work. I don't mind having this at the house and using it as long as I've cleaned it, as long as it's ready. It's gonna go. I have pretty decent confidence that it'll go off first 2, 3, 4 rounds for sure. And it might just, you know, I have pretty decent confidence it'll run for a while. You know, all machines break. So the idea is you just use your gun as you go, and keep an eye on it. You've seen through all the videos, you've seen all the different inspection points that I've discovered during the process. I would say the part that's taken the most wear is the locking block. The hammer's taken a teeny tiny bit of wear. The lifter engaging area where the rail engages the lifter in the back of the trigger group, that's taken a little bit of wear. You just got to keep an eye on all your wear points. So Federal, Luce, Rio, and Estate, all 4 of those buckshots worked out pretty good. You know, there's been some others. Remington, just, you know, there hasn't been any massive significant failures in buckshot performance for the shotgun. Slugs, I'm not really a big slug fan. I mean, slugs are fun, but you know, if I've got a problem and it's 50 feet, within 50 feet, then, you know, I'm kind of a buckshot guy. I like buckshot, double-aught buck. So that's kind of what I intend to have available to use in the gun for self-defense. What else? You know, I wouldn't get the walnut. I think that's a really big item. You know, before I bought the gun, I considered really carefully what I wanted, and I was kind of torn between the polymer and the walnut. And if you're just gonna have the gun around the house, you're gonna store it in a bag, you know, maybe put it in your truck and keep it in a bag, then the walnut's cool. But there's no way that walnut is going to last or be nearly as durable as polymer. I mean, the walnut, you can just tell from handling it that if you bang it on something, it's going to break. So if you're considering the balance between getting the polymer shotgun for rough and tumble activities, for banging around or getting the walnut because it looks good, I would say that, you know, I only get the walnut if you're willing to kind of baby the gun. That's, you know, I've definitely babied the gun. The coating on the walnut looks like some sort of like polyacrylic, like water-based acrylic, polyacrylic, something like that. And there's a couple places where it's chipped a little bit, just a little bit. It's coming loose from the wood. So, you know, you could remove all that and do an oil finish, like a rubbed oil finish. I think that would look really good on the walnut. And it wouldn't be like, you know, a plastic coating. But I happen to like the coating that's on the gun. I'm not too worried about little chips and stuff. I like the coating they put on it because it's pretty darn waterproof from what I can tell. It's really, you know, it's like an acrylic based polyacrylic coating that's just a nice plastic coating on the wood. So I'm pretty good with that. But if you wanted to, you could remove that pretty easily. You could strip that and refinish with oil, like Minwax antique oil finish. Works really good. You just rub it in, sand it while you're rubbing it with you know, fine grit sandpapers. I'm gonna get a choke, a Benelli style choke for the gun, or a choke set for the gun. And it's the kind of choke that is extended out the front of the barrel a little bit, and they're like PVD gold coated. I kind of want to have a gold nose on my gun. I know that sounds silly, but I'm probably going to get a Benelli choke set just so I can, it's like compensated at the end a little bit. Probably do that, maybe. The other thing is that there's a dovetail on the top of the gun. There is, in fact, you know, it looked like it was just like machining art at first, but from what I can tell, there's like real dovetail on the top of the gun. So if you wanted to, you could put a little red dot up there, a dovetail mounted red dot. Or you could put a dovetail mounted Picatinny rail on there and then put a red dot on top of it. Or a little holographic sight. So I might do that. Probably not. Probably not. You know, I really like it kind of the way it is. I'll definitely put a choke on there. I'd like to mount a light on it. And you could put a light mount on there. Just barely. You could put a little light mount on there. But the thing about the light mount, you know, is if it was a polymer forend, I would just carve out a section of the forend and glue and screw a piece of Picatinny rail on there and then just mount my light right on the polymer where the Picatinny rail is. But because it's walnut, I'd have to put the light mount on the extended mag tube and around the barrel with one of those light mount clamps, similar to like the Beretta, the A300, A400, or 1301. And I don't know if I really want to mess with that, because every time you take apart the gun to clean the gun, you've got to take that light mount off of there, which is kind of a drag. That's definitely a drag. So may not even get a light mount. But I'm good. I'm good with this. For $260, I got into a 12 gauge, a really fun semi-auto 12 gauge. I mean, you saw the shooting today, man. Just fast. You know, some of those sets were just as fast as could be. And that, you know, I like pump for reliability, but there's something that's just so profoundly enjoyable about slamming rounds out of a shotgun really fast like that. I mean, we're talking major shoulder cannon. So for $260, that's before shipping. I probably paid about $300 after shipping and all that. But for $260, I'm pretty good with this. Like, I'm glad I picked Panzer. There's been some issues. I would say that Panzer's still falling in the Turkish shotgun reliability category, but maybe just a little bit better than some of the competition. Maybe just a little bit better. If I had to pick again, I'd pick Panzer. So I've seen a lot of stuff on their M4. The Panzer M4 seems to work pretty darn good. And there's a lot more information out there. A lot more guys are testing out the Panzer M4 than the EG200. I just got the EG200 because it looks good. It's just a compact, quintessential, Turkish walnut, 18.5-inch blaster, So it's kind of got that old-fashioned police model look to it, like a police semi-auto police shotgun. So what else? So my next step is I'm gonna buy a bunch of Rio buckshot, and this is probably gonna be like not on camera when I do this, because I'm closing up the series on the EG200 today. But I'm probably gonna buy like 50 rounds of Rio, double-aught buck, and shoot that a bit. Probably shoot a bunch of those just to double check that they're working out good in the gun. And then, have a box of Rio just sitting there with the shotgun. You don't need a lot of shotgun shells with a shotgun, because whatever the situation is, probably going to be taken care of really soon with like one mag worth of shells, like 6 or 7 rounds, probably 1 or 2 rounds. But Rio is probably going to be my pick, just because it looks like it's a quality shell. It's a high brass shell, and it looks like the hull, the plastic in the hull they use functions really well with the gun. It's nice and it's got good lubricity. So I'll probably use a Rio double-aught buck. And so this is it. I've got some other plans coming up, and I'm just getting to the point where I'm not going to be able to buy shotgun shells every weekend. So we had a really good day shooting. This is like chapter 11. Yeah, this is chapter 11. Almost 700 rounds. And I feel like that the shotgun is pretty much broken in at this point. And you got a lot of rounds through it, and we've got 12 different videos if you include the disassembly video. So I think that this is a good point to close the book. It's a lot of good information for other people who are looking at buying the shotgun, and other people who are just starting out with shotgunning. Like, that's kind of the goal, is that if you're a person who wants to get into a 12 gauge for a very affordable price, you like the idea of using semi-auto, I think this would be a good choice for having a learning experience. You're gonna have a learning experience with this one. But if you're willing to get it and do a bunch of shooting with it, that's just so wise. Get something affordable, get into it, and plan on spending like $200-300 on shotgun shells, right? And plan on just shooting it a bunch, because you want to shoot it a bunch. You want to get that experience. You want to get that experience shooting a 12 gauge. If you're going to use it for any kind of real life scenarios, you want to have experience clearing FTEs and dealing with potential lifter malfunctions, and just the battery of arms on the gun, how to load it, what it's like loading it. Get the experience, because when you first get a shotgun, man, you start loading the magazine through the lifter port. It's just kind of a new experience. You got to get used to it. How to clean it, how to disassemble it, what parts of the gun to keep an eye on, how the darn thing works. I mean, one thing's for sure, just about every functioning aspect of the gun we've gone over, we've figured out during this this series. So, you know, I have a really good idea about my weapon now and how it works and where it may fail, where its weak points are, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. So that's about it. We're closing up the book on the Panzer EG200, and it's, you know, it's been a big effort, but it was something I was going to do anyway, with or without, you know, making the videos. So, you know, I don't really feel like, you know, I'm due anything. I just wanted to film my experiences because, you know, Turkish shotguns are an outlier, but they're affordable. A lot of Americans only have a couple $200, $300 for a shot, you know, for a shotgun. A lot of the shotguns these days, man, they're like $700 to $1,500. I mean, really, shotguns are kind of like going the way of Rolex, where they just seem like they're getting a little bit pricey. And I think that the Turks are filling a gap in the market there. They realize that you can make a shotgun for a lot less. You know, they could spend a little bit more money, make a $400 or $500 shotgun that might be even better than what we have here with the EG200. But if, you know, whoever you are, if you've taken the time to watch all of that, all those videos, some of those videos are over an hour. You know, I commend you for your patience. I hope that videoing experience has helped out with your learning, your determination of what you want to get. If you have like $700 to, you know, $1,500, if you have that money to spend, then by all means, dude, don't get a Turkish shotgun. You know, go get the Mossberg 940, man. Dude, that is such a beautiful, you know, smooth running, you know, shotguns used for exhibition, competition, you know, all sorts of different kinds of shooting. Mossberg 940 will shoot at any angle. It'll load at any angle. You can shoot it over your head. You can shoot it one-handed. All sorts of stuff. Or the Berettas, A300, A400, 1301. Those are great. Perfect. Dude, if I had the money just sitting there, I'd get a 1301. No. I'd get a 940 just because, you know, Mossberg's American. And I'm really proud of where Mossberg's come over the last 20 years. They've gone from being kind of a startup company with some, you know, some hiccups to, you know, offering a lot of different firearms, man. Rifles, pistols, shotguns that all are pretty darn good quality. And it's an American name. So I go with Mossberg. Winchester SX3, SX4. Yeah, man. Those are also great shotguns. So if you could, dude, for the money I spent, check this out. $300 on the shotgun and probably like $300, $300 to $400 on shotgun shells and parts, you know, fixing things, and all the effort I've put into it, just videoing and coming out and driving, gas, all that kind of stuff. Dude, you could buy a used Winchester or Mossberg semi-auto shotgun for like $800. So keep that in mind too. Like, I particularly like this model shotgun. This is what I wanted. I wanted it. I like that freaking round, jolly Turkish salesman, you know, demonstration dude that works for Panzer with the big juicy smile. He gives me a little bit of joy, you know. And you know, I like the platform, the way this is laid out, the way it's designed. I really enjoy the EG200. It fits me really well. But man, if you have $800, you want to go through the process of testing the gun and making sure that it works. You know, you don't want to, you know, shoot 600-700 rounds just to make sure it works. Dude, you could just get like a SX4 or a used 940, and you probably gonna have to put 100 rounds through that just to make sure that it's functioning right. So if you just want to get into a gun and you don't need the learning experience and you don't want to do a whole bunch of shooting, then that's what I would do. Like A300, A400, but my pick would be 940 or SX4, just because they're American shotguns. I think the Winchester might be made. No. They're both American shotguns, made in America. So keep that in mind. That if you get this shotgun for $300, you might have to spend somewhere between 500 and 700 rounds to get it to the point where you trust it enough where it's going to go off all the time or almost all the time. So it's about an even trade. It's about an even trade. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I would, if I had like $800 sitting around and I already knew what I know now about shotguns, like I'm at the point where I'm at now. Like if this suddenly broke down and I was tired of it, I'd just get a 940, man, you know? But as it is for this particular unit, I'm happy where I'm at. And you may find that you get an EG200 and it works great right out of the box, or it works great after about 200 shells, you know, or it shoots buckshot perfect, it shoots target load perfect. That's one thing to keep in mind. The low power target loads, like 1145, 1200 feet per second loads, the shotgun didn't start cycling those until like 400 something rounds. So in order to get it broken in to the point where it would cycle low power loads, it was like 400 rounds. I mean, you could sit there, you could watch a movie, watch Terminator, and sit there and just cycle your action spring on your shotgun. Just cycle the action spring like 1,000 times while you're watching Terminator. That'll help break it in for sure. But you know, the trigger group and all that other stuff, it gets broken in. You can see the metal breaks in, you know, the metal wears down a little bit here and there, everything gets broken in. So I couldn't shoot target loads enjoyably until 400 rounds. And that was including a bunch of buckshot and slugs. So I spent a couple $100 on the shotgun just to get to the point where I could shoot low power target loads. It's another thing to consider. So anyway, I happen to love it. You know, I happen to love it. It's mostly because it just looks good, you know. It looks good, it's compact, gives me that happy feeling inside, you know, second kind of cool. And I did want to say thank you to Panzer, because they're actually they laid down an entire company based on putting together affordable shotguns for Americans. And they're trying to sell quality. They're trying to sell something that's a step up from what we traditionally know of as a Turkish shotgun. So you think about that. You think about the Second Amendment. Think about the need for Americans to have shotguns and be able to defend their homes. Panzer's kind of filling a gap. And you look at what's required to put down a company like that and make all those shotguns and make and sell all those shotguns. It's a tremendous effort. So the Turks in the pistol category are doing really well for Americans, man. You can get for like $500, $600, you can get a freaking competition ready race pistol, 9mm from Turkey. Man, the Turks make 1911s, you know, Gearson, and who is it? Oh man, Canik and Gearson and a whole bunch of other companies. They're bringing firearms to America. So I'm thankful for that, because there's a lot of us that really don't have a lot of money to put into firearms, and the Turks are doing a pretty decent job at bringing firearms in. That means the world to me, you know. So I am thankful to Panzer. Want to commend Panzer for what they're doing. I mean, I don't know them. I'm not trying to sell their stuff. I just like the EG200. You know, it suits me. But if you think about what they're doing, they're stationed in Redmond, Washington. So you think about what they're doing to put shotguns in the homes of Americans. Yeah, man, I'm not going to complain about the Turks. A lot of people are like, oh, it's crap. Turkish stuff is crap. La-di-da-di-da. Dude, first of all, they're doing this. These parts are coming out of a factory where people are working for much lower wages than we work for, and they're just feeding their families. So no complaint there. Second of all, they're bringing all that stuff across the ocean, marketing it, getting into our hands. I mean, you think about that the companies that are providing Second Amendment to Americans, I'm not going to complain about that. You know, politics aside, I don't care about politics. We're talking about regular people working hard to bring us firearms that are affordable. So, way to go, Panzer. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and I've enjoyed every minute of shooting this gun, even, doing the repairs and stuff. It's been enlightening process and a good memory for my own life. So thank you, Panzer, for that. And would I recommend it to other people? Sure, yeah, man, buy a Panzer. You might need to fix it. I know for a fact, I know people that have bought some Panzers and they just didn't work. The EG200, there's a number of people I've talked to where they bought the EG200 and it just wouldn't shoot. And maybe, that wasn't something that they could troubleshoot. Maybe a pin came out or something like that and they just couldn't figure it out. But I'm thankful for this opportunity because I learned how to fix things, figured out how to fix things, figured out how to make this gun work. So, that's pretty dope. So that's all I had to say. This is the end of the Panzer EG200 testing. And I hope y'all have gotten some benefit from it. And this is the Owl. God bless America. Always defend your freedom. And don't bend to tyrants. This is the Owl signing off.